From the heart of America, where hard work, freedom, and faith still define who we are. From the farms to the factories, from small towns to city streets, this is the fight for the soul of our nation.
We're watching Democrats attack democracy. Do not be fooled.
The strength, the grit, the greatness of the American spirit, all right here.
The left wanted power, not peace, but there's a resistance rising. A generation saying enough, enough. We've tried it their way, and it failed.
The Steve Gruber Show with your host, Steve Gruber, starts right now.
And welcome to it with a special edition live from the nation's capital, Washington, D.C., where later tonight Donald Trump will deliver his State of the Union. More on that in just a moment. Fighting for you from the foxhole of freedom, no matter where we are. Here are three big things you need to know. Number one, the cleanup is underway following the massive snowstorm that dumped more than 2 feet in some places along the Eastern Seaboard, including crippling New York City. Yes, it's another snow day for the kids. Number two, the American hockey team landed to more applause in Miami Monday as they're gearing up for their big night in D.C. They are headed to the State of the Union address tonight. We'll tell you about that. And number three, let's get to it. There can no longer be any doubt that Trump's decision to designate the cartels as terrorist organizations was an accurate description for those in Mexico. Violence erupting across that nation after Mexican authorities took out El Mencho. He was a drug lord who serves as the head of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel. The extent of the violence just coming into view. A report from the center of the storm indicates that more than 24 Mexican soldiers killed by the cartels, and the body count still rising. At the time of his death, El Mencho was the most wanted man in Mexico. He had a $15 million bounty on his head from the United States. White House says our intelligence helped capture El Mencho, who died from injuries he sustained during a shootout with one of the authorities trying to capture him. The Kingpin's death was a step in the right direction, but it has unleashed massive violence across the nation and showcased just how vulnerable Mexico is to the cartel's power. This is from the Guadalajara airport, one of Mexico's busiest airports. It serves as a hub for international travel for tourists. It was overrun by cartel gunmen. Listen to this. Complete chaos is what it was in the streets. We turn our attention now to scenes from Puerto Vallarta, a resort town, a common destination for tourists. These places should be among the safest in Mexico. But when the cartels decided to retaliate for El Mencho's killing, it all became a death zone very quickly. This is what any one of our major cities could look like if we had left our borders wide open under another Democrat president. These are the kind of criminals that leftists are actually trying to shield from ICE and deportation. Criminals that have organized into paramilitary units like this one. These guys have more tactical advantage than much of Mexico's law enforcement agencies and even the Mexican army. They've declared war on America since their inception, too. And Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum has routinely rebuffed Trump's offers for help in fighting back against the cartels. This weekend's operation was a rare show of cooperation, one that I hope will continue. But in the event that it does not, America must be prepared to wipe these cartels out completely once and for all. El Mencho might be dead, but many more just like him will just simply spring up in his place. And there are many more cartel leaders out there that they'll just consider it business as usual. In fact, they might see it as an opportunity. Representatives Tim Burchett and Senator Mike Lee have a unique answer to this problem. Listen.
It's actually provided for in the Constitution that the president can get privateers, and it's happened throughout history a few times. I believe they went after the Barbary Pirates, which later became the United States Marine Corps, if I believe what happened there. And what it does is allows the president to hire privateers. And these would be, you know, like I said before, they're not going to go down here to Roosters on North Shore or Toddy's Backdoor Tavern on Kingston Pike and sign people up. They're going to go get first-tier operators, former SEALs, former airborne rangers, folks like that, Marines, because you can't send our military into another country unless there has been ordained by their government to for their military to attack us or threaten us or our civilians. So what you're seeing is a cartel. It's a private entity, allegedly. But anyway, that's a bill that needs to pass. It's called Letters of Marque, and the president could basically send these folks down there and get our folks, and it'd be very efficient, I feel like, and you wouldn't have to ask Congress for every bullet and every rifle.
Yeah, there you have it. A full-on assault against Mexican cartels. We still probably need some kind of Mexican cooperation, privateer or not. But I think we can all agree that something has to be done. These cartels are running Mexico. The Mexican Federal Police Force has proven to be no match for the cartel organizations and their firepower. These cartel leaders would have no idea what hit them if a Hellfire missile was sent their way or a Predator drone. The cartel, whose leader was just killed, is one of the foremost manufacturers and traffickers of fentanyl into the United States. They're going to continue that operation, whether El Mencho is their leader or not, unless we do something about it. That's the bottom line. And the White House drug czar Sarah Carter says the cartel's days are numbered one way or another. Here's what she says.
President Trump has been very clear. The cartel's days are numbered. It's over for them. I've made this very clear myself. President Sheinbaum understands this. This is no secret. And I think the cooperation, we're seeing cooperation now. We know that President Sheinbaum and President Trump have a good relationship. They have spoken a number of times. I think the pressure right now on her and her government to work as well to clean up the cancer that has infected the Western Hemisphere. President Trump was very clear with one of the best operations we have ever seen our Department of War conduct, which was extracting Maduro and getting him out of Venezuela. And now we're cleaning up the Western Hem. And Claudia Sheinbaum is going to be a part of that. Now, that's going to take some negotiating. But I can tell you this, President Trump has said this, bilateral, unilateral. We're going to do it if they don't.
In a perfect world, Mexico takes responsibility for this mess. But 200 Americans or more die every day from fentanyl. That's just fentanyl. We've got a lot of stake in this game, a lot of skin in this game. And if we're going to play, it's got to be to win. Speaking of wins, President Trump will be highlighting everything he's done for the Americans in the last year and what he plans to do in the future. At the State of the Union address starting at 9 o'clock Eastern Time tonight, we'll have full coverage beginning on Real America's Voice at 7 o'clock. The Mexican operation going to provide the perfect opportunity for the president to really drive home just how important it has been for the American people that he closed our borders to the invasion of illegals. There has not been a single illegal alien released into this country for at least 9 months, which is an extreme turnaround from the Biden administration, who released upwards of 7 million illegals into our country, which says nothing about how many million more were unknown gotaways. A lot to talk about. A lot to talk about when it comes to blue cities, sanctuary cities and states and places that the American people reject. It's all coming up tonight, State of the Union. I'll continue this conversation in just a moment. Good Tuesday morning to you. This is The Steve Gruber Show. All right, I expect President Trump to defend ICE and its operations across our nation tonight, as they attempt to remove those millions of people who pose a security risk to Americans every day. As leftists demonize the agents trying to protect them, immigration enforcement has been one of the key wins of this administration, which is fitting since it was one of his key promises over and over again on the campaign trail. The economy will likely also take center stage, with a focus expected on consumer spending, job creation, manufacturing growth, and efforts to reduce prices and energy costs, as Americans continue to see massive tax refunds hit their bank accounts over the next couple of months. The stock market has been a successful marker for the president as well, and his Trump accounts ensure that the wins in the stock market actually benefit the next generation or two or three. I know Americans will be interested to hear what further steps his administration has planned to bring costs down even further. I also expect President Trump to bring up foreign policy, primarily America's return as a dominant force on the global stage, especially in our handling of our hemisphere, like Venezuela and Cuba and the ongoing conflicts in Iran and between Russia and Ukraine. This will all be underscored by Trump's most recent invitation to the address. The United States men's hockey team, which dominated the competition in Italy over the weekend, winning our first gold medal in 46 years, first since 1980. And they are more than happy to represent this great nation and our president. It will be a good moment. Here's a preview.
I tell you what, I just told my people 2 minutes ago, I didn't know they'd be calling. I said, we're giving the State of the Union speech on Tuesday night. I could send a military plane or something, but if you would like to, it's the coolest night, it's the biggest. We're in. Yeah.
Can you pick us up in Miami on Tuesday morning?
Yeah, Tuesday morning. Close the northern border. We'll get cash and we'll get the military to get you guys over.
I'm gonna let's go.
Boys are going to the State of the Union.
Yeah, they're in all right. Absolutely in. That's the way you should celebrate American gold, right there. Celebrate America. No question on when the American men's hockey team stands. But you know who won't be there? A bunch of Democrats who plan to act like petulant children and boycott or walk out during the speech. It's so predictable. And it's so petty that it's got even Democrat Stephen Smith ticked off. Here's what he said.
The president of the United States is going to give his State of the Union address, and the Democrats got other plans. So some are talking about walking out in the middle of his speech. Others are talking about boycotting it altogether and essentially finding something else to do. I'm here to tell you that neither is acceptable. Neither should be acceptable. But you know what I have? I have common sense. I have decency. I have respect for the office even when or if I didn't respect the individual. Because I would understand it as a representative, whether it be that as a representative or a senator in the United States of America, guess what? I have a constituency to answer to. And I have people who need me, who I represent. And whether I like it or not, this individual is in office until 2028. And I got to find a way to do business with him in order to get something done.
Yeah, Democrat Senator John Fetterman does plan to be in attendance. He's a reasonable voice during unreasonable times, he says. Here he is.
So, you know, I try to be a reasonable voice in really unreasonable times. And now that's where I'm at. And I do plan to go to the State of the Union. And then I do hope all the other Democrats that choose to come, that we don't do the same kinds of things that happened at the last year. I mean, it was really undignified. And just the thing, no, I don't care who the president is. Don't yell and disrupt that. It's like you really should respect the office. You don't have to like the occupant, but respect that. And that's, you know, we should be better than that. So for me, as a Democrat, you know, it's just calling balls and strikes. And I'm always going to pick country over party.
Well, wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if we had a few more politicians who would do the same thing, choose country over party? We might actually be able to get something done around here. As President Trump steps up to the podium tonight for the State of the Union, it's going to be a straight-up victory lap for America. Borders locked down, no illegal releases in 9 months, a huge turnaround from the Biden mess. He'll hammer home how taking out guys like El Mencho is saving lives and keeping fentanyl off the American streets. Expect big talks on jobs exploding, tax refunds, hitting wallets, stocks soaring, and those Trump accounts setting up the next generation for success. He'll flex on foreign policy wins, too. Our backyard, global stage, you name it, while the gold medal hockey boys sit front row repping the red, white, and blue. This isn't just a speech. It's proof America First is working. Again, you can see it all right here in Real America's Voice beginning at 7 o'clock. All right? I'll be part of the team there at the Capitol. I'll be in Statutory Hall, which I'm excited to do. I've never done this before. I'm on location for you. I was able to get in despite all the snow, so we're in pretty good shape. You won't want to miss this one. All right? And then, of course, we'll have a complete review tomorrow here on the Steve Gruber Show. Tired of taking vitamins that don't seem to work? Protivite is a breakthrough liquid. It's a formula designed to absorb quickly so your body actually uses it. When we say multivitamin, we mean it. Over 100 nutrients, including B vitamins, amino acids, zinc, and plant extracts, and you get daily support for energy, focus, and immune health. Only from Victory Nutrition International. Nutrition that gets in. Start your mornings like we do with Protivite and feel the difference. You'll get 20% off today, and when you subscribe, you get 20% off and free shipping forever, for life. VNI.life/Gruber, the promo code Gruber. Listen, when we talk about health in this program, we mean it. I only talk about products that we actually use, and Ivy did the deep dive research on this one. She looked for all sorts of vitamin companies, found this one, made a call, and we made a deal. So the deal is for you. 20% off today, and if you become a subscriber, 20% off and free shipping for life. Again, VNI.life/Gruber. The promo code is Gruber. I'll take a break and be right back. Live from Washington, this is The Steve Gruber Show.